to stop what you're doing and listen.
Hello and welcome to episode 30. I am Mosh and I can't believe we're already at episode 30. It doesn't even feel like I've edited that many, and it's actually because I haven't, because technically I've only edited 29, but this will be the 30th. It seriously feels like we just did the first episode. The first episode that had no direction to it whatsoever because we had no idea what we were doing. And also rest in peace to some of those people. Not really. Tilted hasn't been on since the second episode. That's because he's busy. Just a really busy dude. He might be on again in the future. I don't know. And Light is mad at me for something really stupid. So take that up with him and tell him not to be so sensitive. Anyway, let's just get into this. So first things first. Grand Theft Auto 5 had a new update, the casino update, which I will talk about in a little bit. But they added penthouses that you can buy, and there are decorations that you can buy for your penthouse. Well, there are some paintings that you can get, and one of the paintings is called Canis Canum Edit, which is from Bully, Rockstar's other game. Or that was like the European name. So that's obviously an Easter egg towards Bully, and everyone keeps talking about Bully 2 possibly happening. And if you look at the painting, there are red dots. There's like 4 squares, or it's like a square painting, and there's like 4 quadrants in it or whatever, each with a different image, and then each image also has red dots in it. People thought that that was important. Why the red dots? Well, if you hover over the painting, it says that the painting is by someone named Matthew Morse. So now people think the red dots are Morse code. And if you do the Morse code, it translates to 4, the number 4, N-A-D. Fornad, I don't know what that means. Some people thought it was NDA, which would be non-disclosure agreement, which wouldn't really make sense. I don't know why they put that in there. Anyway, I guess people on the Bully Reddit are going over like theories and stuff. So if you want to head over there, you can. And then Polygon released an article and it said a Bully sequel announced fall 2020, news embargoed, do not publish. Or that was the URL of the article. So then people started flipping out thinking that Polygon had this info and they accidentally just leaked it. But then they came out and said that they were just joking. So, it's a good way to get reader loyalty is to troll them like that. So good job. Nothing says reliable news site like trolling everyone. But yeah, I think this is just an Easter egg. I don't think this really has anything to do with Bully 2. Do I think Bully 2 could happen? Sure. Is it not on the way? Sure. Who knows? Rockstar knows, but we don't. So if you want to join in on conspiracy theories, go for it. Next, we have good old Treyarch. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So someone on Twitter claimed to have inside information at Treyarch and said that Mark Lamia, the chairman of Treyarch, was responsible for all of the microtransactions in Black Ops 4, and Activision just oversaw the process. First of all, I think this person on Twitter is lying. I don't believe them. But again, it made Treyarch release a statement. So this was what they said. It's been a long week with a lot of active conversation. Typically, we don't respond to rumors, but this claim is based on false information and is targeting an individual. Mark Lamia transitioned away from day-to-day operations several years ago after the release of Black Ops 3. Mark is currently our chairman and provides advice, mentorship to studio leadership. He's always been a great leader, and the team has loved working with him. Given the personal nature of the claims, it needs to be made clear that he's not directing any game development or content plans, and these claims are again simply false. Many team members have been working on Black Ops 4 and are committed to delivering great gaming experiences every day across Treyarch, Activision, and partner studios. No single person is solely responsible for decisions around design of the game. It's always a team effort. It's not only hurtful and unfair to target individuals based on misunderstandings about their roles on the team, but it's also a slight to all the team members who are working hard on this game. Let's get back to focusing our community dialogue around the game and away from discussions about individuals. Constructive feedback about the game is always fair. Targeting individual members of the team is not. So it's also nice of Treyarch to admit that not one person, ruined the game. It was a team effort, so that's cool. There's that one article on Kotaku about like what was going on at Treyarch and how some people weren't being treated properly and all that. And they said that members of Treyarch were not happy with how Activision was dealing with microtransactions. And then you have this coming out saying that it's just the one dude at Treyarch doing it. So like nothing makes sense. I still think Activision's, in full control of that. I mean, they're the owners. Surely they're in charge of all the money. Like that's what would make sense to me. So I still think it's Activision's fault. I mean, just look at Bungie. Once Bungie and Activision split, Bungie's been doing nothing but good things. Once they were finally released and free, they just do good things. Like, it's Activision. Always blame Activision. Not saying Treyarch doesn't deserve blame. There are definitely things in Black Ops 4 that they could fix or change that they just don't. But if we're talking strictly like microtransactions, I mean, I'd point the finger at Activision. Next up, we have Dying Light 2. Not much on this game, but it was confirmed by Techland themselves that it will be a cross-gen game, meaning it will also be on the next-gen consoles. So if you want to wait a little bit longer and get it on the next consoles for a little bit better of an experience, you can. Or if you just need your Dying Light fix, then just get it on the current consoles or PC. A release date has not been announced yet. They just said the first half of 2020. It's that next generation parkour zombie killing experience. Moving forward, we have Fortnite Season 10, and they put up a teaser, and it shows Dusty Depot. So it seems like Dusty Depot will be returning, which is cool, because that was one of my favorite places to go, and then they destroyed it. Every single spot I like to drop in that game is gone. I've had like 4 or 5 spots, and one of them disappears each season because it gets replaced by something else. I did jump on Fortnite the other day to play Prop Hunt because they made it a limited time mode where you can play with random people, and I'm just not really feeling it. Not Fortnite's version, at least, because the hunters get 2 weapons that are one-shot kill to the props, which I think is stupid. I mean, it makes it really hard to mess with people or to even win. I mean, you can win, you just have to sit still, basically. It's only played on one area of the map, and it's not great. The only cool thing about it is that when you're on the prop side, you can pick whatever prop you want. And you can also just switch. You get like this weird gun thing, and you aim it at what you want to be, you turn into it, and then if you want to change into something else, you can. But it takes a couple seconds to do so you got to make sure like no one's watching you or around you. But yeah, it's just I don't care for it. And that was the first time I played Fortnite in quite some time. And also congrats to all the people that won at the Fortnite World Cup. A lot of people walked away with a lot of money that day. Now we're on to Doom. So Doom 1, Doom 2, and Doom 3, the original games, have been released on all of the current consoles, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. And of course, you needed a Bethesda account to play the games. So people are like, why do I need an online account for a like 25-year-old single player game? They claim it was for the Slayers Club because they want to reward members for playing the old games. But they're going to release, I don't know if they've released it yet, but if they have, then cool. If they haven't, then they're going to release an update to make the Bethesda account optional. But, Bethesda and bad PR. Name a more iconic duo. It's a match made in heaven at this point. Sticking with Bethesda, Wolfenstein Youngblood was released, and there are some interesting reviews. So people keep throwing around SJW propaganda. They say that's what this game is. And these people are they're insane. I don't even know if they know what SJW means. They just heard like someone they admire say it, so then they just say it thinking that they're intelligent when they're just, idiots. That's probably a good word for it. It's like these people see females in a game and it's SJW propaganda, or the lead character is a female and it's SJW propaganda. Like they're so dumb. These are the same people that call other people snowflakes, yet they get offended by like the most minuscule of things. Again, they try to act so intelligent, but they're so small-minded and closed-minded. I remember when the last Wolfenstein came out, was that New Colossus? I think it was New Colossus. And people were calling the people that made the game Nazis. It was like, what? Like, you kill Nazis in the game, and then you're calling the people that made the game Nazis. That doesn't make any sense. There are some people in the gaming community that are just they need to be on some serious surveillance. They need to be watched, maybe even in shackles. CIA needs to intervene. I mean, I don't even know. They're crazy. There are seriously some whacked out people in this world. All right, now on to the new GTA Casino update. So this is getting controversial over here because you can use real money to gamble in the game. The microtransactions in Grand Theft Auto 5 are called shark cards, and you buy them with real money, and then it turns it into GTA money in online. So that's what you can do. You can buy shark cards, turn it into GTA money, and then go to the casino, buy chips, and gamble. So if you are using real money to buy chips and then gamble, first off, you're an idiot. Because, yeah, you can turn real money into GTA money, but you can't turn GTA money into real money. So you're just losing everything no matter what. Plus, the system is rigged. Rockstar could easily go in there and make it so that the odds of you winning anything is so unbelievably low that you're just going to lose everything anyway. So you're trying to beat a system that you can't beat. Also, if they did that, that'd be really scummy. But I'm just saying they could do that. Now, if you're rich, you can do whatever you want. But if you're not rich, don't do this. Now, there are things you can buy with the chips, like there's decorations for the penthouse, like I was talking about earlier, and clothing and stuff, which I think is dumb. Like, why have it to where you could buy that stuff with chips? Like, just make it money. So if you're using the real money to turn into chips to buy that stuff, then that's okay. But if you're turning real money into chips just to gamble it away, you're an idiot. So is this crossing the line? Yeah, just a little bit. And this is what I don't understand, because you have two Rockstar games. You have GTA 5 and you have Red Dead Redemption 2. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you can play poker and blackjack in that, but you have to use in-game money to do it. The currency you can buy in Red Dead are gold bars, but you cannot play those games with gold bars. You have to use in-game money, if I'm remembering that correctly. I've played a lot of those games because 100% of the game, so I had to do pretty much everything, and I don't remember ever a point where you could use gold bars to play poker or blackjack or whatever. So in that game, you have to use in-game money that you earn. But in GTA, you can use real money. So why is it in one game using real money is off limits, but in your other game, it's not? Doesn't make sense. It's the same thing where I talk about, Activision and their games. You have Crash Team Racing, which has no microtransactions and everything is free. And then you have Call of Duty that has a ton of microtransactions and loot boxes and a battle pass. And it's like, why is one game free of this and the other isn't? And I know it's two different Rockstar studios that make these games. You have Rockstar North and Rockstar San Diego. But you also have the big dog, Take-Two. Take-Two owns Rockstar. So is this really Rockstar's decision? Or did Take-Two come along and be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? So what we want you guys to do is, and then they tell them to add it in, and Rockstar can't say no because Take-Two owns them. And what they say goes. Now, some countries have like the whole loot boxes and all that banned. So it's actually in over 50 countries. They cannot use real money. There's like an in-game notification that says you don't have permission to do this. According to IGN, there are 54 countries that cannot access the gambling features of this update. China, North Korea, Iceland, I believe Germany and Belgium as well. Obviously a bunch of others. And it also says that some people are using VPNs to get past this, even though it is frowned upon because it could get them in trouble with their country's legal system or with Rockstar. So this proves that there is a system in place to block people from using real money to gamble in this casino. Why not force that worldwide? Make it so you have to use money you earn in game. Well, if they did that, there'd be no controversy. And what does Rockstar and Take-Two love? They love that controversy. That's what Grand Theft Auto is. It's controversial and it gives them publicity. It got me back on the game. I haven't played GTA in 8 months. Once this update came out, I re-downloaded the game and I've been playing it the last few days. I do not buy shark cards though. I do not invest in any of that. I've never spent a dime on this game other than when I actually bought the game itself. But everything I have in that game, I've earned just from playing it. In-game money, doing missions, races, all that stuff. So yeah, there is a system to block using real money. But again, no controversy, no publicity. Also, another thing, when you're playing poker, if you're sitting next to someone, you could just rotate the camera and see their cards. Again, that's something you can't do in Red Dead, but you can do it in this game. So, is this bad? Yeah. Do I support it? No. Could there be adjustments and fixes to this? Yeah. Will there be? Probably not. I'm not much of a gambler. I don't have an addictive personality. I'm really stingy with money as it is. So, like, just blowing money away off stupid rigged machines is not my idea of fun. So it doesn't really affect me, but there are people that have problems, and this could cause more problems for them. So it's just not good. Yeah, I doubt anything will be done about it. So unless some laws get passed in America, just like the other countries, but if that doesn't happen, then I doubt anything's going to happen. So just don't be stupid about it. Just remember, it's a video game. All right, it's not. You don't need to be investing a bunch of money into it, especially at a virtual casino that doesn't exist and you can't get your money back. Just be smart. All right, on to the music portion of this little thing we do every week. So first up, we have Northlane, who have released a new song called Eclipse. It is the third single from the new album, dropping this Friday. It's got an industrial sound to it. It actually reminded me of Static X a little bit. All three songs that they have released from the new album sound different. So that's cool. Hopefully every song on the album sounds different. So it's a nice variety of stuff. Because once songs start sounding the same, it's just, you kind of wander off mentally. You start daydreaming. You forget what you're doing. So variety's always good. And so far we've had variety. Wage War has released a new song already. They just released that other song a couple weeks ago or whatever. It's called Prison. They debuted it on the radio, and there's a reason why it was debuted on the radio, because it sounds like a radio song. I mean, at the time of this recording, it hasn't been officially released. It was just, like, it's not on, iTunes or Spotify or whatever. It was just debuted on the radio. So if you've heard that version, then you've heard it. I don't know how I feel about it. I pretty much like every song they've made for the most part, but this one, I don't know. The lyrics are kind of cheesy. I listened to the song like once or twice, and I believe what he said was like, "I'm stuck in my skin. This is my prison." It was something along those lines, which is kind of cheesy, but it is what it is, and it might grow on me. Now, with that said, they released yet another new song. This one called "Me Against Myself." And I don't know how I feel about this one either. This one is also kind of more on the soft side. A lot of singing. There's some screaming at the end, which is kind of out of place, but whatever. I think the issue that I'm having with these two songs is not that they're softer or that there's more singing. I actually like that kind of stuff. I think the issue is that the lyrics are just not that great. And I think they could do better. They're still a young band. They have a lot of time to improve and grow. So I think that they can do that. But lyrically, they need to step it up, because these two songs they're not doing it. And I feel like this is another song just kind of made for the radio. I mean, there's a really simple formula that you have to follow. The first thing you have to do is make sure that your song is in the most popular song structure out there. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. Then you need to add a catchy chorus to it, something that's going to get stuck in people's heads. Then you have to finish it off with lyrics that are pretty generic, but also very relatable to a lot of people. Once you have those three things, you're set up for success. You'll be played on the radio like crazy, and that's that. That is the Krabby Patty secret formula. And again, these songs could grow on me, but right now I'm just not really feeling them, and it has me kind of worried for the album. Because the first two songs were great, and then these two, I don't know, but I guess we'll just see. And I'm going to talk about vocals a lot more next week when I review the Bad Omens album. I'm probably going to go on like a rant about vocals. So yeah, because I think the vocalists of that band and me share kind of like the same thought process when it comes to vocals. But I need to hear that album first before I can actually talk about that. Next up, we have Saint Asonia, which is a band featuring Adam, who was the former vocalist of 3 Days Grace. They released their debut album back in 2015, and now they're back with a new album, and they released a new song from that album called The Hunted. That's the name of the song, and it features Soli Erna, who is the singer of Godsmack. And it's just a good old, radio rock song. I mean, it's basically the voice of 3 Days Grace with the voice of Godsmack. And if you listen to the radio, 3 Days Grace and Godsmack get shoved down your throat all the time. So, what's not to love? I think the feature on the song is good because a lot of times in features in rock or metal songs, I feel like they're too short. Like they give the person one verse and it seems like that's it. On this song, well, it's kind of weird because Adam does the first verse, the first chorus, the second verse, and then Soli comes in on the second chorus. Then they do a bridge, and then when they do the chorus again, they're both singing at the same time. But to have him come in on the second chorus and not right before on the second verse I think it's a little weird. But it works. They both sound great. So, I mean, I don't really have any complaints. Or you can call it the pre-chorus. I don't know. Like, to me, pre-choruses don't exist. Like, it's either part of the verse or it's part of the chorus. Forget these pre-choruses. They're stupid. But yeah, I like Adam. That was my favorite era of 3 Days Grace. Also, this band it's Adam with his cousin and then 2 members of Stained. So it's the guitarist and I believe the drummer of Stained are in this band as well. Yeah, if you like radio rock stuff, then you might like this song. I'll put a link to it in the description. All right, now on to my weekly pick. So it gets really hard recommending something new every week, but I'm trying. So there's this thing Spotify does called Metal Talks, where they get some people from bands to talk about stuff, and also they play songs. So Corey Taylor from Slipknot, my boy, he was on it and talks about stuff. Then they play some Slipknot songs, and that's what I'm recommending. It's an hour long, or an hour and 2 minutes if you want to be accurate. I think it's good. You have to listen to it with shuffle off. You cannot have shuffle on because then it doesn't make sense. Well, the way they have it structured is like he'll talk for a couple minutes and then they play a song. Then he talks, song, they alternate. But sometimes he'll talk about a song and then they play that song. So if you have it on shuffle, it'll be out of order and then it wouldn't work. And it's only on Spotify. So I will put a link to this in the description as well. If you don't have Spotify, then oh well. Also, if you're on Spotify, you should just check out my profile and my playlist, which I will also link in the description. Actually, that's my recommendation too. 2 recommendations, both on Spotify. I have not all my playlists are public, but a good chunk of them are public. We got my best of 2019 playlist, if you want to see all the good songs from this year, in my opinion, which I update, whenever something good comes out. And August is right around the corner, and I'm going to be adding a lot more songs to it. I got my big playlist with all the rock and metal songs in it. I have an even bigger playlist with all the rock and metal songs in it and rap. I have my rap playlist, which I never talk about rap on here, but I have a playlist for it. 80s and 90s songs, stuff I grew up listening to, which I cut it off at 2005. So no songs in there are past 2005. And the reason I did that was because I feel around that time is when I started like discovering more bands on my own through like the internet. And before that, I just heard bands on like the radio and from my parents and all that stuff. So 2005 is kind of when I went down my own path. So that's when I cut it off. I was still growing up in 2005, but that's when I cut it off. I don't know why. I just explained why, but I don't know why. I got Arizona music, all the local bands, artists that are from here as well, because like I have Linkin Park in that playlist, but they're a California band. But Chester was from here. So, he's the voice of the band, along with Mike Shinoda. He's from here. He's the vocalist, big band. So I put them in that playlist. Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac, again, she sings for that band. She's from here. The band is not. Some of the songs are in the playlist. Alice Cooper is not from here. He lives here, but he's not from here, but he started his band here. It says it on Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is the most accurate website in the history of history, as we all know. Rob Halford, also not from here, but started one of his bands here. He lives here now, though, anyway. But actually, a lot of people live here. Pretty much like all of Asking Alexandria lives here, which is weird, but sure. That was an interesting thing a couple of years ago when Chester died, though. If we're going to go back to Linkin Park and Chester, because he was one of the most successful people to come out of our scene, music scene. And so when he died, it felt like part of our scene died with him. And he died on July 20th, 2017. And the very next day, Dead, another up-and-coming local band from here, released their very first album. So it was like part of the scene died, and then the next day, the new band from here that has serious potential to go on and do great things releases their first album, which is a great album. Every song on there is just, it's great. So it was almost like when he died, he like passed the torch to them, but in an unofficial way. I don't know. That's why I'm really pulling for that band to do well, Dead. And I think they will. They're in the studio right now recording their second album. So hopefully we'll hear something soon. And now on to my weird story of the week. And this one's pretty gnarly. So there's a lawsuit that says a company piled up bodies and dismembered limbs instead of using them for research right here in Arizona. The families thought they were donating the bodies of their loved ones to a company that would send them to medical researchers to help find cures for diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. But when federal authorities raided the Arizona facility of the Biological Resource Center in January 2014, they made a horrific discovery. Bodies piled atop one another, buckets full of body parts, and other unsettling scenes, details that came to light recently when a former FBI agent gave a statement for a lawsuit. The grim discoveries were detailed in a civil lawsuit which was first filed in 2015, has been amended several times, and is headed for trial this fall in a Phoenix court. It alleges officials deceived relatives who donated the remains of their loved ones, and the company conspired to traffic bodies and body parts for profit. In a statement given in May, Mark Swinar, who was an assistant special agent in the FBI's Phoenix office, testified that during the raid, he saw body parts stacked in all parts of the facility, including many in freezers without any tags identifying them. He says he saw a bucket full of heads, arms, and legs. One torso had its head removed and a smaller head was attached to it in a Frankenstein manner. The torso was hung from a wall. I also saw another article on this that said that same thing, but it was a male body with a female's head attached to it. Relatives suing the company allege it would mutilate and desecrate those bodies so they could sell the bodies and body parts for profit to enrich themselves. The bodies were sold to the Department of Defense, according to the lawsuit. These bodies were literally used as crash test dummies, which meant they were used in experiments involving exposures to destructive forces, including impacts, crashes, ballistic injuries, and blasts. And one of the guys involved in this says he now wonders if the company really sent him the cremated ashes of his relative, or was it from someone else, or something else. There's more to this, but it's just more of the legal lawsuit type stuff that I'm not going to go into. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty disgusting and disturbing. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's how I'm going to end this episode. Yeah. Thank you for listening, hanging out. Really appreciate it. As always, I will have links to some of the stuff in the description, like I said, and all of my stuff as well. Twitter, Twitch. Well, that's it, actually. Those are like the only 3 websites I'm active on. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. So if you see me on any other sites, it ain't me. Talk to you guys next week. Later.